You've got to really be prepared for the pace of the market here. I mean, overseas, some properties can take months, even years to sell.
Most countries have some kind of tax when you buy property. In Australia, that tax is called stamp duty.
If you're moving to Australia and you want to buy a property before you arrive, where do you even start? Today we're looking at what happens when your home search starts before you land in Australia. Whether you're relocating permanently, returning from overseas, or investing ahead of your move, it's a big, huge leap, and you're probably asking, can I actually buy a home from overseas? To help us unpack it all, I'm joined by Antoni Granata, home loan specialist at Westpac, and Nancy Yang, director at Buxton in Port Phillip. Antoni, let's start with the basics. Is it actually possible to buy a property in Australia while you're still living overseas?
Yeah, it's actually definitely possible. What we do is we work with buyers from overseas all the time, whether they're expats returning home or people moving here for the first time. But it's important to know that not all buyers will qualify for a loan or be eligible to purchase. So that's your first step. Check your eligibility and speak to a financial advisor and also a Westpac home loan specialist early.
So let's say someone is eligible. Nancy, how do they even find and inspect a property from abroad?
Technology has changed the way we do real estate immensely. So nowadays you can view properties completely remotely, whether that's a live walkthrough, a property video, or looking at 3D interactive floor plans. But what I would highly suggest is always getting a family member, a friend, a property advocate, or a buyer's agent to view the property in person for you, because they will pick up little nuances and things that you will definitely miss from just photos and videos alone.
Okay, so Antoni, what does the process look like once they're ready to buy?
The first step would be get a pre-approval so they know how much they can borrow. Then it's about engaging a solicitor or conveyancer to handle the legal side for them. Once you make an offer on a home and it gets accepted, they'll then manage a settlement process for you, which can be mostly done online or using a power of attorney if needed.
Nancy, are there any risks to buying a property sight unseen?
Oh, definitely. I mean, when you're not seeing a property in person, you can miss things like road noise, the general sense of space and size of the property by way of ceiling height, for example, the walkability of the streets and what the neighbourhood is like. You may also not notice things like smells. For instance, dampness could be a common one in older properties. So it's so important to have somebody inspect those properties on your behalf in person, just so that you can make sure that you make as educated as a decision as you can when you're buying.
That is so true. Antoni, do you have any standout success stories with your overseas buyers?
Yeah, so I recently helped a couple relocating from Singapore who bought a home in Sydney's eastern suburbs. They had such strong local support, a buyer's agent and a legal team here, and we then managed the whole process online. They moved in just a week after arriving in Australia.
Wow, that is impressive. Are there any quirks about the Australian property market that overseas buyers might not know about? Nancy, let's start with you.
Quite a few. So the first one is you've got to really be prepared for the pace of the market here. I mean, overseas, some properties can take months, even years to sell. Whereas in some capital cities, properties are selling within the first week or two of going online. The other thing to be considerate of is a method of sale. So we don't just have private sales here. We've got expressions of interest, sale by set date, and a prevalence of auctions, particularly in Melbourne and Sydney. In any given weekend, we can see from 600 to 800 scheduled auctions, which is at levels that you simply don't see overseas. And you don't have a cooling off period either.
And Antoni, what about you? What about on your end?
Yeah, most countries have some kind of tax when you buy property. In Australia, that tax is called stamp duty. What makes it a bit tricky here is that stamp duty isn't set at a national level. It's decided by each state or territory. That means the rules, rates, and even the name, some call it transfer duty, can change depending on where you're buying. Also be across that some new arrivals may need approval from the Foreign Investment Review Board, which is basically checking that everything is above board.
Nancy, what is your best piece of advice to people who are buying from overseas?
The best advice I can give is do your research, be prepared and have a really good team behind you, have the right conversations and understand the local market that you're looking to buy in. I think have a really good team behind you. Make sure that you're having the right conversations with the right people, being very thorough with your due diligence and also thoroughly researching the areas that you're looking to buy in.
Agreed. Reach out to your local Westpac home loan specialist to discuss your personal circumstances. A financial advisor or buyer's agent is also another great place to start. Have these conversations early, get a team you trust, and don't skip the fine print.
So the big takeaway here is that, yes, it is possible to buy a home in Australia before you move, but the right team and the right support is just going to make all the difference. Thanks for listening to the Buyer's Handbook. Join us next time for more answers on the topics that matter most. For more help with your property journey, head to the Westpac How to Buy Hub on realestate.com.au. Eligibility, conditions, credit criteria, fees and charges apply. Residential lending is not available for non-Australian resident borrowers. This information is general in nature and has been prepared without taking your personal objectives, circumstances and needs into account. You should consider the appropriateness of the information to your own circumstances and, if necessary, seek appropriate professional advice.
Real Talk acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, air and community. We pay our respects to elders past and present.